Yo,
Yo, what
what's
up,
up?
man?
Hey, dude, how we doing?
I'm chilling, man.
Fuck yeah. Love to hear it.
Been making a bunch of content, started doing shorts, learned how to do video editing. Well,
Nice.
mediocre video editing.
Yeah,
There
it
is a
starts somewhere,
whole
right?
yeah. No. It's a starting point, but there's like a whole I opened up a whole fucking can of worms, to be honest with you, with that whole thing. But it's cool because, like, I like working on the computer, and I've been building a backlog of shorts and stuff. I've been getting more creative with my editing with it, so I enjoy that side of it. So it's kind of fun to like make content with at least Aatrox, because like that seems to be the most viewed thing. Because like I know I need to play one champ. My ADD does not allow that. So like I main Aatrox and I can say that, but like I still play a bunch of other shit. So it's cool because like on my YouTube thing now I have like tons of different champs that like, I think I can play at least at a competent rate. So I've been doing shorts with a bunch of different things and it's been enjoyable. It's added a new layer of fun to the game for
That's
me.
awesome, man. Hey, that's ultimately it's a hobby, right? That's what it's about, is just having some fun. So
Yes,
that's
yes,
awesome,
yes.
dude. Love to hear it. But yeah,
Um
I'm taking a look at your PGG right now, and it's pretty ugly. It's
I mean, I've definitely
pretty
played Aatrox
ugly.
more than anything else, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, out of your last 20 games, your last 40 games actually, we have 9 Aatrox games.
Well,
Right? That's not
that's
really
probably
not
that's
what we're
probably
looking
because
for, right?
it's probably because I feel super confident on Aatrox that like I can pull that out whenever I need to now and just like own my fucking lane.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like it's ultimately what your goal is, right? It comes back down to that. If our goal is to climb and learn, then we,
Like
we want to keep pushing
Aatrox is
ourselves on Aatrox, right? Because we're nowhere.
he's just a staple champ pool for me now. Like honestly, it's like the level of GP for me. Like I don't even have to think about things. My fingers just do the things that it needs to do. So like I could look at my mini map and I could just pull a fucking three-piece combo and not think about it. Honestly, for me that's how it is now.
Yeah, definitely. I do think you're still disrespecting champion mastery. Like I'm glad you feel comfortable on him, but I mean you're definitely still just disrespecting the levels to champions in this game, and you're definitely disrespecting the depth to which you can go on Aatrox. Like that's just there's no two ways about that for sure.
I will agree because I have been watching some. I don't know if he's like from the Chinese server or the Korean server, but like there's some like Aatrox, top Aatrox in one of those two servers that I've been watching, and like he literally will run like completely different rune sets depending on the matchup. Like I saw like a Comet build, I saw a Grass build, so I've definitely been diving deeper into Aatrox past the mechanicalness of it, like knowing when to Q1 to the W to the E, when's a good time to press R, or like I'll hold my R to bait it out because I have my passive up and then I get a huge chunky heal and I can turn a fight because like the opponent's not expecting me to heal like a third of my fucking health.
Yeah, totally. It's like, and that's definitely a major part of it is how competent we are mechanically, how correctly we can read the situations and execute on that. That's definitely a huge part of it for sure. But it's like part of champion mastery isn't simply just how well we're executing; it's how well we are like winning the games in our champion, how well we understand our champion's identity within the broader scope of the game. How well part of that is like how comfortable we are in each individual matchup, and that's stuff like pulling the right runes, like specific runes for specific matchups, and then understanding how to utilize Aatrox now with those runes instead of what we're used to. Right? That's part of champion mastery for sure. It's like there are many different aspects to it, many different layers to it, and it's just like it's completely blatant to me if we're looking at your recent games here. It's like we're just disrespecting that for sure. We're thinking that we're at a higher level of Aatrox mastery than we are, and that's just I think we'll definitely see that when we get into the VOD here. But like that's just something like it's ultimately, man, it's your league journey, right? It's what you want out of the game is something only you can understand, and where you want to go with the game is only something you can know. But if your goal is to improve and to climb higher, And
Yeah,
to do
no, it
that on a
definitely is.
champion, it's like you are just blatantly disrespecting the champion mastery and the difficulty of the game. It's like that's if what we're looking to do is have a massive champion pool and play a bunch of different champions in different roles that have different identities, then like it's your hobby and it's your time. That's completely fine. And if what you're enjoying out of League right now is playing different champions and making some content, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But it's just you need to be honest with yourself on what you really want out of the game. And if it's to climb and to improve as a player, like this sort of like last 40 games is really just not like if in the last 40 games, if we have 9 games on our most played champion, it's like that's not conducive to actually improving or climbing. So it's just I would say I would implore you to just like honestly take a look at like what do I really want out of playing League, and if it's to climb and to improve and to do that in a efficient manner, then like what we're doing right now is not consistent.
To be fair, I do have a second account that's in plat that I have been very more strict on.
Okay, well, would you give me that OPGG then?
Pup, da 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 da. Do, 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 do. Where is it? Pop, 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 pop. You're gonna see a bunch of Gwen games on there just because like I played some Gwen during the placements because that is kind of like again, it's on the level of like my GP. That I feel like super comfortable in it and like I could just like play safe and then get to 16 and just kind of do whatever the fuck I want. Bob, Bob, Bob. Yeah, Bob the guy. And like I pretty much use this account as my try hard. I'm only playing playing ranked more seriously. And like if I do play norms, it's really I try not to just I'm trying to take this account way more seriously than I am my main account.
So, I mean, why didn't you show me this account prior?
Because I recently just kind of started using it. Because
Okay.
I wanted to use my fucking main account because I have tons of skins on it, and I've had this account, dude, for fucking ever. And I made a new account, and I felt very a type of way because I gained literally like 36 LP per win on this Bob one, and lose like 14 to 20. And on my main account, I win 24 and lose 26.
Yeah, but it's like if
It's super demoralizing.
yeah, but like part of that experience of fixing that account's MMR and LP is like if we're the player that's getting to plat 4 on this account, then like we should definitely be the player that's able to like move through silver, right?
You would fucking think.
No, it's like that's just how it is. Right? It's like if that's not the case, then there's other underlying issues there that are like fundamentally holding us back, right? Whether that's a relationship with the game thing, whether that's the intensity in which we're going into these games, whether that's like when we go into these games and think I can have success in plat, why can't I do it in silver? Or you're disrespecting the people in silver when you can find some success on an account that's in plat.
That and like I don't know, like I bodied an Emerald 1.
Yeah, you
And
might have
that's
beaten one single Emerald 1 player in lane, but like what makes somebody get to Emerald isn't necessarily always their laning. And are they an Ambessa player? You know, it's like, yeah, if you can beat one guy, you can beat one
She's
guy.
kind of busted right now.
Yeah, that's kind of just bullshit though, right? Like, is she really that busted? And then also
At level
like,
9, as a top lane player, yeah. Like if you don't punish her pre-9, you're pretty much smoked. If you go even with her
she's
by
got a
level
50%
9,
win rate right now. It's sub 50%. It's 49. And then I mean, even outside of that, it's just like you're playing the player more than you're. It's like I don't know. Like that's kind of just cope. Like it just that doesn't really strike me as genuine. And it's just that really
Okay.
that just strikes me as like
that.
it's just like you're not taking that seriously. And it's like if you can yeah, I can show you examples where I beat master players in lane once, but does that mean I'm a master player? No, God no, of course not. Because what gets somebody to master is something that's complete. It might not be their laning. They might have subpar laning, but they're making great decisions elsewhere. Like, there's a
Yeah,
reason you're
yeah.
not an emerald, and it's
True.
not like beating an emerald player doesn't mean you should be at that level.
No, no, I know that. I know that. There's so many more layers, and like again, sometimes I think it just goes back to like our first session we did, where it's like I know mechanically I'm fucking way better than most people, and I feel like I just like resort back to having a fucking dogfight.
Yeah, I mean, but like if we're really that much better mechanically, like why are we in silver?
Because I take bullshit like 2v1, 3v1 fights in
But if we're
top
really that
lane.
much better mechanically, wouldn't we just be winning them?
I mean, I still trade 1 for 1.
But then what's that actually do? Right? If we're looking at Nile, or we're looking at Irel King, or we're looking at Fiora King, or we're looking at that Chinese top laner, he's just gonna win
Mhm.
those 1v3s if he's playing in your game. Right? Because if we're really that much better mechanically, like we would be placed higher. You're placed where you are because that's the level of player you are. That's not disparaging to you. That's not a slight against you. It's just something you need to accept. Is that we are, if we've played in ranked, right? If we've played almost 140 games in ranked in
Yeah.
silver on a 51% win rate, that means you should be in silver. That means that you are where you should be. That's enough of a sample size to put you where you are. And part of that is your issue as a player is you will not commit to champions. Right? We're making that harder for ourselves. And like that is part of it. Like that's part of the strength of a player is like how well disciplined their champion pool is, right? And it's like when we're playing Aatrox, we're doing well, we're winning, but it's the issues that we're not sticking to Aatrox, and you're disrespecting the champion mastery of Aatrox, thinking I've played 26 games of Aatrox, I've mastered him, I know what I'm doing. Dude, that's just bullshit. I'm here to tell you that. I'm not trying
No,
to say that as
I
a
don't think
way
I've
against you.
mastered it.
I'm just, yeah, you're talking like you have though, and you're talking like you're at this point where like I can play him with my eyes closed, and like you're not, and you can't. And it's not even just like the champion mastery stuff; it's all the other stuff we're doing in lane that's really subpar. And taking these bullshit fights where 1v3, that's part of your skill as a player, and that's part of your mechanics is understanding how well a fight's gonna go. And if you can't see that there's 3 people coming, that's a glaring issue as well.
It's more about like I know that they're coming, and it's like I want to see what I can do. Honestly, is what it is. Because like I don't know, I
And that would be
sometimes I
fine,
can
man. Like that
turn,
would be if you're taking those limit test fights constantly, consistently, but we're playing those games on Aatrox constantly, consistently. Then yeah, we're getting value out of it.
but because I'm swapping between
Yeah, and you're constantly
Aatrox,
limit
Syndra,
testing.
TF.
Yeah, it's all going down the drain. It's all getting muddled, and it's all just bullshit ultimately. So again, it genuinely what it comes back to, my friend, is really like be honest with yourself about what you want out of playing this game. There's so much you can do out of this game if you just want to play it more semi-casually, play champions here and there that you want to, make some content here and there, and just have a good time. Like there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's like if you really want to climb and you really want to try to get better, you have to really fundamentally accept where you are at your level of play.
I mean, dude, I'd love to get my main account out of fucking silver and back to plat. And really, that's
What do you mean?
something I would like to do. Because, like, I know I can hold myself against plat and emerald players. I know that. I play against people that are way better than me all the fucking time. I'm in a couple of different discords where I do in-houses with people, and, like, I hold my own against way higher rated players. And like, sometimes body them in fucking lane. My laning, I don't feel like is the issue.
I mean, let's just take a look at this real quick, right? If we look at this account, Bob the Guy, and we look at these recent games, like OPGG score is not the thing to go off of. It's not amazingly accurate. It's not a beautiful thing, but you can still see a consistent trend of 10th, 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 5th, 10th, 9th, 10th, 9th, 5th, 10th. It's like, are we really holding our own? Are we genuinely holding our own in these games? Because like if I see an OPGG like this, it's like I feel like I'm getting exposed, right? You know, it's like, are we really that competent on Aatrox? If 4 games is a small sample size, but if we've only won one of those games, and it's like we can think we're doing okay in lane, but the reality of it is probably far from that. Because there's so much stuff to lane, there's so many levels and layers to it that I think you're just disrespecting. That's what it really sounds like to me. I'm not trying to like be like attack you here. I'm just trying to like show
No,
you
no, no,
like
I
this,
know.
like the reality of this is like I think we're just not super aligned with reality and what's actually happening here, right? And I think it's like when we're playing Aatrox more consistently, like we're doing decent with it. Like 54% over 26 games that's good. That's really good. That's a great place to be starting with. Aatrox is a very difficult champion, and it's like we just have to stick with it. We have to push through the pain points of playing champions where it feels bad, where we're losing games, where we don't think we should be losing them for whatever reason. But you have to accept the reality is if we're playing almost 140 games and we're in silver, that's just where we should be. There's nothing wrong with that. All we can do from here is go up, right? But we have to first accept and be honest with ourselves that this is our level of play. And this is where we should be because this is where we are. 140 games is more than enough of a sample size to place you accurately.
I would agree. Yes.
So I mean, like, what do you think you really want out of League? Do we really want to climb? It's like you don't have to say that to me just because I'm here. It's like this is a personal thing, right? It's for you. It's like, this is your hobby. It's your free time. It's what you get out of it. Is what you put into it.
I
It's what you want.
I enjoy playing the game through and through. I enjoy entering, I guess, quote unquote, you could say a flow state. Because like the only way I've really been able to do that was like through like mixed martial arts, and like I'm not trying to get any more fucking concussions or get hit in the head. So like,
Respect that.
so this has been the only other outlet that I've really been able to like achieve that state of a being, I guess. I don't have a good way to describe it. Like to where like my body just does what it needs to do and I don't have to fucking think. It knows what to do. And like this is the only other hobby that I've been able to like
Touch that and
do.
kind of yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and like I don't get injured from it. So like like it's kind of nice. Cause like it was super cool when I could do that when I was fighting, but like, dude, I'm like fucking 34. Like I'm not doing that anymore.
Yes, yeah, that's real. I respect that.
You know,
Hmm.
like I got a baby that's about to be here in like a month, not even, and I have another daughter, so it's like, I'm trying to be healthy and mentally around for them in the long term. And like, yes, I want to climb. But like also like I play with a bunch of different people. I have people in Discord that, like I said, that are in like some fucking jungle Discord thing that I like do in-houses with. I have another group of friends that I play with. And like, we kind of do like five mans. Like not necessarily, I think Clash is like what we're eventually going to do, but like we've just started playing as five, and like I play a lot for team comps. So like my goal, I guess, was never to be a fucking one trick. No, my goal was to have such a deep champion pool that no matter what my team needed, I could play something at a moderate to competent rate.
Yeah, but the reality is that if you want to be the most effective person for your team, it's by like being the best player you can be. And you're not going to become a better player by playing a bunch of different champions. And even more than that, it's like if you're an amazing Aatrox, if you pick that regardless of what the comp is saying, like you're going to have more success. But like if that's what really brings you joy in League is playing these in-houses and playing five mans and like playing that like
More
Fox like
team.
competitive stuff, like dude, it's again, it's your hobby, man. There's nothing to it, right? But if you're looking to find a genuine competitive outlet that's really going to push you and force you to become a higher level person, it's like that's not really the path, right? That place is like in houses and like FA 5v5s are really fun, but they're not genuinely competitive in League. Like the most competitive experience you're going to get is playing ranked on your true skill and pushing through
Mhm.
that, And if you're looking to like really enter the flow state and really get deep into that sort of champion understanding, it's like that's the stuff that comes after hundreds of games on a champion. It's not after 26. I can promise you
Yes.
that.
No, no,
If you
no,
really
no,
want
no.
to touch deep flow state, it's not after 26 games. And it's not after even 100 games over 4 seasons. It's 100
No.
games in a season. And it's like you don't have to one trick a champion. Like we talked about, like we can find two champions and that's fine. And then you can cycle through champions where we're focused on two champions, But after a couple weeks of disciplined playing, we move different champions in and different champions out. And over time, you can genuinely develop a deep champion pool. But it's not by just peppering champions together. That's not how you develop a champion pool. It's not by playing 10 games of Aatrox, then 10 games of GP, then 10 games of something else. You know, that's not how we do it. That's not how you genuinely develop mastery. And that's where I get back to, like, that's just disrespectful to the difficulty of the game, disrespectful to the depth of champion mastery. So it's like, you're talking like you really want to take competitive league seriously and push yourself in this competitive environment. And it's like the like if you have experience in like competitive martial arts, then you probably understand better than I do. It's like you have to put in the effort for that, and what you get out of that is probably way more than if you just bullshit your way through it, you know? So you have to take it seriously. You have to treat it with respect, and you have to like genuinely put in the work for it. And what you get out of it, what you get out of League is very, very rewarding. It can be a very, very rewarding competitive outlet, but you have to respect the endeavor that it is, you know? So it's like, really, I can't decide this for you. I can do my best to help you push competitively and push on that journey.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. But I can't make that decision for you. I can't tell you what you should do with your free time and how you should really spend it. That's something that you just need to think about and kind of decide for yourself.
Well, I know I'm committed to this as my competitive outlet. Like, I know this is like, I have joy in this. I research it all the fucking time. I put as much effort as I put into doing mixed martial arts is what I put into this now.
Then why
I
not
can
just take the
honestly
next
say
step,
that.
right? And why not just genuinely take it with respect? Like, it's not just like, it's not a
I don't know if
casual
it's
video
because
game, you know? It's like,
no. Well, I see that's one thing I realized over probably maybe like a few weeks ago. I was like, I think the reason why so many people like watching this game and like watching content for it is because like they honestly they can't do it, and it is difficult for a lot of people.
yeah, 100%. You know, and there's it's a game that has so many deep levels to it, and levels that so many people will never see because they're not trying to. You know, I'm not here to say that like I can see the light entirely. There's so much stuff I don't understand about the game. And that is what's beautiful about it, is it's a game that rewards you directly for the amount of like effort and respect you put towards it. And if you treat it like you would a genuine hobby or a genuine sport, like imagine somebody getting into martial arts and they spend 5 days training Muay Thai, and then they spend 5 days training boxing, and then they go and do jujitsu for 3 days. And they come and tell you like, oh, dude, like I understand jujitsu. Like I know what I'm doing with jujitsu. It's like
Well,
you would
you
know
know what-
instantly that's bullshit. You know that's bullshit because they're disrespecting it. But people don't do that
Yes.
with martial arts because there's a barrier to entry that they understand. They understand what they're getting themselves into. They understand like this is a very high level, very difficult, very long-term process. You have to treat the process with respect if you hope to get anything out of it. If you show up to a boxing gym and you're walking around like I know what I'm doing, like I can do like I can fight really well, I can slip everything really well, and then you get in a ring with somebody who's now pissed off because like there's disrespect here. It's like you're gonna get your shit rocked.
Yeah, no, when I first started, yes, that's what it was. I thought I was badass until I met some people that actually knew how to fucking fight.
Yeah, right. It's like that's something that there's an inherent disrespect towards video games just because that's what they are. They're video games, but this is a competitive hobby. If you want it to be, it can be a casual hobby too, and that's where people get in troubles. You try to kind of blend the two. Like if you want this to be a competitive hobby, if you want this to be a competitive outlet, you have to treat it with that respect.
I think I'm trying to use like the content creation and like the YouTube videos and the shorts and shit like that as the casual side of it. Like, when like you make a flashy outplay, cool, get some audio over it, get a face cam on there, get hyped in the video camera, something like that. That's where I'm trying to be casual with it. But like, no, like I do want this to be my competitive hobby. Honestly, I'd love to get to like a super high competitive rank as like the old man of League.
It's
I think
very
that's
doable.
kinda
You can do
cool.
that for sure, man. But we have to. That starts with the two things it starts with is understanding the difficulty of the game and what you're getting yourself into. And then two, it's treating that with respect and treating where you are with respect. Right? If you think you're an insane boxer and you never got that humbling experience, you would never actually learn. You would never actually get that learning moment, that painful experience, and push through it. But that's league's the same thing. You'll meet plateaus that become uncomfortable. And when you hit that plateau, you're going to say, I need to change something. Let me change my champion. Let me change my lane. Let me go here, do this. It's like we have to push through those pain points to actually grow. And right, it's like if we really want to take this game seriously, you need to play one champion. You need to play one role. Two champions is fine too. That's okay. It's okay to not want a one trick. Most people can't. Most people lose their mind. But you need to commit to playing you need to have a disciplined pool. You have to. And you have to have a disciplined lane. Otherwise the rest of it is just bullshit.
That's what I'm trying to do. I feel like at least in ranked, I'm sticking to top lane and sticking to like a few champions. Like I'll play norms because that's where like I play with my friends and shit, and I kind of just honestly I fill. Like whatever needs to be played with my friends and normals is what I'll do. Should I just get like a separate account for that particular outlet?
That's fine too. It's like if you have a normal account, like do it on your main account. Have a separate account entirely for playing with your friends.
Okay.
Don't play top mid on that account, and that's fine if you want to be casual there. It's still gonna muddy your experience. Just like if you try to spar casually in boxing, like then when you try to be intense, like you're gonna have weird and bad reflexes, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
like ultimately, it's like if you really want to take this seriously, it's like this is the most efficient and the best path you can take is playing 3 games a day on 1 to 2 champions of all solo queue. That's gonna give you the best learning and the quickest path to improvement. Because when you're playing with your friends, your intensity is way lower. Your mental stack's way overloaded with what your friends are doing and just what's going on with your friends, just even on a more meta level. Then also you're going to be making decisions you wouldn't exactly. You know, you're not you need that intensity. Yeah, you need that intensity to actually push you to your limits. So your skill as a player is at its max. You need to be slightly out of your comfort zone in these games, but you can only do that if you're pushing yourself as a player. But if we're in just normal games fucking around and bullshitting, it's like you're not ever going to be reaching that. Just from the fact alone, like you won't have the attention to really focus on what you're fully doing.
No, I can admit that. Like when I'm with my friends and I'm in a call, it's
a completely different
casual.
environment. It's not the environment of going into the dojo or going in there to train and
yes, by myself. My headphones are on. I got my music bumping. Zone, I'm like you said, locked in. Yes. That's when I'm by myself. I got nobody around, and I'm just it is drastically different.
Mm-hmm.
Like my whole mentality, my thought process. Because like even like when I'm playing by myself, I'm thinking about what I'm doing the first 3, 4, 5 levels in lane. I'm like, okay, I know I need to like slow push or I need to like 2-wave crash, quick reset because I know this matchup sucks. Like when I'm playing with my friends, I don't think about any of that. Like we're talking about what people did at work today, what we're doing later this night.
It's a casual hobby in that case, right? It's like if you really want this to be a competitive outlet, like the best thing to do is separate those two things as much as you can. Otherwise, it's not. Otherwise, you're lying to yourself. And again, it comes down to like you have to have that honest conversation with yourself. Do I really want this to be a competitive outlet? Do I really want to take this competitively seriously? Then I need to take the right steps to do that.
I mean, yes, but I also have met some cool people that like I just like to just casually play with. And like I'd wish that I could still do both because like I don't know what other fucking
I mean, you can. I'm saying you just have to separate them, right? It's like you just have to take those games completely differently. Play support and play some fuck shit where it's like you're not focused, but it won't mess with your muscle memory as much. It won't mess with your decision making as much. And you understand the intensity is different, but even that will still muddy your experience. But
so would that be a good option? Like if I'm gonna play with my friends, just play support, and then when I'm gonna play serious, play solo queue by myself, top lane.
Yes, that's the best case in this scenario.
Okay.
And then when we're on that solo queue account, on that top lane account, where we're playing it competitively and we're playing it seriously, you need to be disciplined in your champion pool. It's like otherwise you're just kneecapping yourself. and you're not taking it seriously. And it's not something about trying. It's like, if you're trying, you would be doing this. You know, it's just you're not trying. It's like, it's okay to admit that. But if you can't manage
doing too much at once,
that's
what I'm doing.
You're not developing a champion pool by doing this. Like, that's your misunderstanding. Is you're thinking, oh, just by playing a bunch of different champions, I'll develop mastery. You don't develop mastery in a bunch of different champions by playing a bunch of different champions at once. You do it by playing a bunch of different champions over the course of a very long period of time. And by honing in on
spending months doing jiu-jitsu, then spending months doing boxing, months doing Muay Thai, and then going back to jiu-jitsu.
Exactly.
Yes. That's how I need to approach this, because that's what I did when I did MMA. I spent like 6 months doing nothing but jiu-jitsu. Like, I lifted weights, but that's whatever. And then I would do 4 or 5 months of pure Muay Thai. I'd meet up with my coaches and just do that. And then this. And then I had a cycle of it.
Exactly. It's the exact same thing, right? Because that's how deep each champion is. It's very similar. Because you warp the entire game through that lens of a champion.
So Aatrox for sure. Looking at this, what do you think?
I mean, it's up to you. It's like, you have a lot of Gangplank mastery. That's fine. If you just want to do Aatrox, Gangplank, top, mid, that's fine.
I just feel like I know I like to fight early.
Aatrox, GP can fight early. He's very strong. There's so much fucking content from Solo Baka just destroying challenger level players at level 1.
Yeah.
It's like,
yes. You totally, especially with Ignite, people disrespect the Ignite and his passive, how much true damage you could get off.
But it's up to you, man. Like, I can't make the decision for you. I can't tell you what champions you like and who you would want to, you would actually be motivated to stay disciplined on.
I mean, 100% Aatrox is definitely one. Like, I think there's so much nuance to him. I have so much playmaking potential, and I have fun playing him. Like, 100%.
Yeah, that matters a lot. Like, who would you be curious to keep learning? And that's what's important. But also understand, like, even then, it's like, the reason I partially recommend GP here is because the focus is on learning Aatrox. It's like, we're keeping GP in the pool for games where we just don't want to play Aatrox for whatever reason, or it's just a much better GP game.
Range top.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Smolder, oh my god, Smolder tilts me so much in the fucking top lane.
Yeah, and again, it's
I lose my shit against the fucking dragon,
if we're a slightly competent Aatrox, you will destroy him, and that's the reality. And like, that's why I know all this is all bullshit, because like, that's the reality. If you're a slightly competent Aatrox playing into the Smolder, you will destroy him.
Sometimes he fucking just flies away. Like he knows when the fuck I'm coming in. I swear to God,
because you coming in, like, because we've only played 26 Aatrox games, so our engages are very telegraphed. They're very obvious. We're not being creative at all, right? It's like, I can tell you this without looking at it, just because it's obvious, man. Right? This is the reality of playing this game. And it's like, you can get to that point. You can become 3 times, 4 times better as an Aatrox player, better as a League player. You can genuinely be getting to Plat and really genuinely holding your own in these games and winning them on your own. And it's like that, it would be a completely different experience. Like, if you go through the pain of it and you get to the other side, you'll be reborn in a way you wouldn't have thought possible with the game. And you'll just be having more fun. And it'll just be more competitive. But like, the process, the steps to doing that is like looking at your process with the game right now and like recognizing like it's all been fake and it's just been bullshit. You've had success and you've been like, it's not to mean like you don't play well sometimes or you're not learning, but it's just like you don't genuinely take it seriously. And you might take it seriously in some ways, you think, but like, the reality of it, when we come down to playing the games, when we come down to trying to have an improvement process,
there's none.
There's nothing.
Yes. Like you said, an improvement process? No. I'm kind of winging that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just...
Not even winging it, we're just looking out the window at some clouds. It's like thinking about it, right? We're thinking about it. You need to take it from theoretical and make it something real. And if you do that, genuinely, you'll have so much fun with the game. Especially if you understand how that process translates into building yourself as a person and building yourself that, like, in skills and the confidence you can get from that, like, which I'm sure is an experience you've had doing MMA. It's like, it's the same as anything else, dude. Like, where you push through these things that are difficult, you push through these times that are painful, like once you do that, that'll give you something else to understand and just like have more perspective through the world. But again, like this all comes down to you genuinely, honestly looking at what you've done so far, looking at the way you've approached this so far, recognizing what do I really want out of this game, and then you know what to do from there. And it's fine
I
to
hate to say it, but you're fucking right.
yeah,
I do know. I do know.
Yeah, it's just about like whether or not you're willing to really buckle down and get into it. Whether or not you're really willing to look at your rank at Silver 3, 51% win rate, and be like, this is where I belong right now. This is the level of player I am. And once you actually accept that, it's so much easier to just climb from there. Because you're not fighting the rank every time you're in game. You're not thinking, oh, this guy's a silver whatever Mordekaiser. I should be destroying him. My hands are so much better than him. When it's in the reality,
dude,
it's like,
to be fair, bro, I went like 4-0 in lane.
Does it matter? He won the game.
I know.
Who cares, bro? Who cares?
Bro, my bot lane died fucking 22 times. To be fair, in that one game.
Is that separate from you? Like, what did we do to make bot lane easier for bot lane? What did we do to get down there and make something happen? It's like take responsibility in these games, man. Like if you were 4-0 in this lane, are you telling me that Chinese top laner is not destroying this game in 10 minutes? Right? And you're thinking, oh, I've mastered this game. I destroyed him in lane, but we were 8th in this game, right? If we were 4-0 in this lane, then you had complete control, and we threw it out the window entirely. Why? Probably because we're not sophisticated on Aatrox. Understanding of the game isn't sophisticated. We don't have a deep, like you see what I'm saying, man. Like, this is all just bullshit. You're just giving me bullshit again, right? It's like, you have to accept the reality of where we're at. And it's okay to like be throwing games in silver. It's fine. Like what the point is not winning this game, it's learning from it. But if we're thinking, oh, I was 4-0, my bot lane died 5 times, like this game wasn't on me. But if we go into it and we look at like,
I'm not saying it wasn't on me. I just think that again, in that particular game, I did try to go bot lane, and I think that was my mistake. I think I should have just stayed top lane and kept pressuring and tried to pull as much pressure top as I could have instead of trying to go bot lane and salvage what they fucking had.
Yeah. Like there's totally, we get in the specifics of it. We look at the game. But like the point is like, take responsibility for these games. Take responsibility for what we're doing in game, and take responsibility for the fact that we lost this game in this elo, and that's fine. But like, it feels to me like you have a hard time accepting that. It feels to me like, especially with this other account you showed me, that like we have a major mental block on where we are, where we're rated, and who we're playing against. The way we're talking about our mechanics and the way we're talking about this stuff, it's like,
because like out of 10 games, probably at least 8 or 9, I'm 2 or 3 kills ahead of my laner and like a level or 2 up. Honestly, most games that's how they go.
And then, but most of these games, like 50% of these games are losing, right?
Once the mid game hits, it just, maybe it's because my map awareness isn't good enough. I just feel like I take the tower, I'm pressuring T2, and either I'm not playing around the pressure of my other team, I'm not waiting for them to get pressure in the other side lanes. That's exactly what it is. It's the fact that I am not being patient. I'm not waiting for my team to get pressure in mid, getting pressure in bot before I start pressuring top, because I'll just like continuously push, and then like 3 or 4 people come fucking top lane, and like there's only so much I can do with that many people. Especially when like 3 people flash on me, 2 ults are burned, and I get an ignite dropped on me. Like,
you bet, like we're putting ourselves in the situation consistently game after game where that's happening.
Correct.
Like,
yes.
Why is it taking so long to learn from it, right? Why is it taking so long to learn from it? Because we don't have a learning process. That's why.
Outplay it. Well, yes, that too. And I generally feel like I could just outplay it, and I know that that's not right. Like, clearly, if I could just outplay it, I would
bitch about the fact that you're getting ignites and ults and flashes dropped on you, and then say, "I think I can outplay it." Right? You're it's like, we have to understand eventually, right, that if we're constantly having this stuff happen to us, it's like, well, there's got to be a reason for it. Like, everything's happening for a reason in this game. It's not just random shit.
Aggressive.
Yeah, because we're playing like a fool in these games.
Yeah,
we're doing what's just objectively wrong. and we're
Correct.
disrespecting the game, thinking I can do whatever the fuck I want and still win this game, and then it doesn't happen, and then we switch to a different champion.
Honestly, that about sums it up. Yes,
Right?
I am. I'm 100% thinking to myself, it's like, no, I know I'm fucking this good. It doesn't matter if they send the whole fucking team. And then I tell myself in the back of my head, it's like, okay, cool. Even if they send the whole team, they burn 2 flashes and 3 ults, that I think in my head, then, okay, cool. I've burned so many resources in the top lane. My team should be able to do something. And that's putting pressure on them, which I shouldn't do, because then that's not really taking responsibility.
Yes, because we're looking outside of ourselves for the problem in this
Correct.
game. When it's like, well, think about this. Like, this is how good you are: is that you can have a 4-0 lead in lane and still lose the game. Like, that's the reality,
so
right?
Upset.
But like,
So upset.
then we got to use that to like motivate our action, so that we are taking a learning process. Take control of your journey here. Don't let it just be this random fucking ebb and flow of champions and nonsense and lanes, and that we're just gonna end up exactly in the same spot we've been in since season 5, right?
Yes.
It's like, if we really want to improve, if we really want to push, and we really want to climb, it's like we have to take responsibility for these games. We have to take responsibility for what we're causing in these games. Because if we're 4-0 and then we're pushing like an idiot and we're dying and giving over 800 gold shutdown to one of their carries, it's like
every game.
And then it's Varus's fault that Viego has an extra item up, right?
But we're not acknowledging the fact that he got 1,000 gold from me, but
that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Right now, it's Varus's fault apparently that Viego has a collector up, right? You see that? It's like we have major ramifications in every game.
Unfortunately, yes.
But fortunately, yes, because that means we can also have major genuine success in all these games, right? We can genuinely take control of these games and end them in 15 minutes with a 10-0 KD because we're that much better. Like, if we are really that much better than our lane opponent, then prove it to them by winning the game in a way that they can never even play it. Like, the potential's there for that, right? If we are consistently, if we're genuinely consistently getting these leads in against our laner.
Like if you look at, I mean, dude, if you go to my YouTube, there's tons of fucking Aatrox stomps, and like, I do. At least on Aatrox, I'm super confident. Like, sometimes
let's push it, dude. Like, let's fucking push it. Let's genuinely get in there and let's fucking push it. Let's see. Okay, I'm feeling confident in Aatrox. How much more confident am I going to be in 50 games? 75 games. Where could I really go with this champion? What could I really get done? You know?
Well, one thing that I've noticed is that I've drifted more towards the lethality build and less towards tanky, because I can consistently land my Qs, like, at the range.
Yeah, your sweet spots. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So like, I've learned that now that I can hit those like on different enemies at different angles and hit 2 or 3 people at the same time, and you get chunky heals. When you have lethality, you heal even more because I'm doing more damage. So that's like if you see, like, I've been going like Spear of Sojin into that fucking red item.
Yeah, again, man, I'll be honest with you, I don't care about your build. I really don't give a shit. It's like, whatever you do is like, that's fine with you. Figure it out. But like, the issue with your gameplay is not what we're building. It's like, again, it's just like we're looking for something outside of our genuine gameplay. Like, the build is there, it's going to be great, whatever you do. But it's like, if we're 4-0, it doesn't really matter what we're building.
No.
And then why we're falling off is not because of what we're building, right? Again, it's because these decisions we're making. It's the quality of our decision making. It's the quality of our mistakes that is really making this stuff happen. It's like, if we're 4-0 in this game, but we end up 8th, it's just like, again, OPGG is not amazing, but
no, but it's honestly because I'm not, like you said, I'm not respecting people. I'm not respecting the game, and I'm not and I know that I need to wait for either mid or bot to get pressure before I can pressure the T2.
Yeah.
I know this.
Yep.
I know how tempo works.
Hitting a tower is a luxury, But like, if you know this stuff, but like, we don't actually feel it, but we're never ever going to genuinely develop the intuition towards that game sense, because we're constantly fighting the intuition of each individual champion. We're never actually consistently in a flow state on any of these champions to recognize, like, okay, I need to now just wait for my mid lane to push up, because you're so concerned with landing sweet spots, with seeing the champion. I can probably combo them. You're not actually at a level of champion mastery where we can truly develop our skill in the game.
I need to spend like another 50 to 100 more games before I even get any more deeper into it.
Yes, and like that stuff will just help you. We can only learn a champion or learn the game at once. You can't do both.
Oh
You
yeah,
really
yeah.
can't.
But
And
it's like
trying to do
learning
both is just disrespectful. Not to
you're
mention
kneecapping
trying to
yourself.
learn both, but we're also constantly switching the champion.
Yeah, between like, and it's not like they're easy ones either. It's like Gnar,
No.
it's Fiora, it's
Yes.
Jace.
Yes,
You
dude.
know,
Like, yeah, if we
the
look
one
at
thing
your
if I
most
was
play, if we look
playing,
at your most played, bro, not only is it like jungle and top lane, but we have Aatrox,
they're
Viego,
all
Gangplank,
difficult.
Cassante, Kayn, it's Gnar. It's like these are insanely difficult champions. They're insanely difficult champions to make work, to execute on, and none of their identities are very clear. Right? It's like you're making
No.
everything hard for you. Not a single thing is conducive towards you developing yourself as a player, towards climbing. Literally, when I look at your OPGG, all that tells me is you don't actually want to climb. It's like it just tells me like you're doing everything in your power to not actually see how good you can get. And every time we run into any difficulty, we switch roles and we switch champions.
Not in ranked.
Yes, in ranked. Yes, in ranked, bro. Like, come on.
No,
yes, in ranked.
it's all top. It's all top.
Yeah, but they're all different champions, right? Like that's what and we're playing Jace, we're playing Fiora, we're playing Gnar, we're playing Aatrox, we're playing Jax.
Okay, but look at the champion mastery and all those. They're all like 100k plus.
It doesn't fucking matter though. It doesn't matter because we don't have genuine mastery in any of them. All this tells me is we've played games on them over time. But when was the last time we really put games on to Gangplank, right?
Oh God!
Right?
Last season, not even. Probably
right?
Multiple.
No, right?
Multiple.
Yeah, exactly. How far back do we have to go till we actually were grinding out Gangplank? That's where you got your mastery from. Just because you have 1 million points on Gangplank doesn't mean you have genuine mastery. Because if you had genuine mastery, we wouldn't be sitting in Silver 3 on a 50% win rate. And like when we play Gangplank, yeah, we play him well. But we don't play Gangplank. So why is this even in the conversation? It doesn't matter.
You're right. You're right. I hate to admit it, Sam, but you're fucking right.
I'm not trying to be like an asshole. I'm not trying to harp on you, man.
I know
but
you're not.
I want you to see like
we're talking as two grown ass men, and I can admit when I'm fucking wrong. And you're right. I know I'm wrong in this.
And even like on our highest mastery champions, 4 different lanes, 4 different roles.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Because no, I'm a chooch. I'm a chooch sometimes.
But it's not even just that. It's the fact that I think we haven't honestly looked at. We're doing it now, but like in the past, we haven't honestly looked at what we've wanted from the game, and we haven't had the full understanding of the difficulty of the game, the depth in which champion mastery goes. And having the discipline to develop a learning process oriented around individual champions and individual lanes. And you are right? You are right in that like when we're playing ranked, it is at least top lane mostly, right? And that's we'll start with that, right? We got to take that. That's fine. But we need to respect the difficulty of the game, respect the depth of champion mastery.
So what would be the next closest champion to Aatrox? Like that has a similar identity, I guess. Because like I really don't understand, I guess, champion identity at all. I'm not even gonna pretend like I do. So like in your opinion, what would be the next closest thing to an Aatrox that I could? Because like I can't just play one champ.
Something like for simplicity's sake, like you could do Jax. That's not terrible. Jax is a bit more of a side. Like Aatrox is somebody who wants to scale into his items. He has an okay level 1, 2, 3. They're okay. They're not very strong. He thrives off of items, and then he's an insane team fighter. He's a monstrous team fighter. So something similar to that. Like
more like Gnar?
Gnar would be okay, but even he's got he doesn't have as clear of a champion identity in that he can also split push quite cleanly. And I think honestly, like for simplicity's sake, we should just do something like Garen or do something. Renekton is not a simple champion, but you could do Renekton.
No, I know he's not. I know he's not.
He's similar enough where he's a bit stronger in lane. He doesn't scale quite as well, and he's not quite as a versatile, like strong team fighter. But he's also good.
I'm open to not learning a new champion. Like, yeah, of course I know what Renekton does. Yes, I probably have like close to 100k mastery, but like many, many seasons ago. And I'd really like not to learn a new champ. So like,
I think the
if my
best
second
way.
champ is going to be like, it needs to either be Gangplank, Gwen, Jax, Gnar, or
Gwen's pretty
Cassandra.
similar, honestly. Gwen's
Like any of those five, and I'd like to have an AP.
then do Gwen,
Just
man. That's fine. Don't have to overcomplicate it. Just do Gwen Aatrox. They're similar enough where you'll get value out of both of them, but they're also
But couldn't I just go like
like
AP Jax? Or is
no.
that kind of
There's no
troll?
point to that. We're not playing
That's
Jax
troll.
to do
Okay.
that really. And it's
Okay.
like I don't know. Don't you're still over. Like, you're still pushing things into these wrong spots. Like don't have to think about comp like that or think about it doesn't like if you play a full AD comp, it doesn't matter. Especially if you're
I
just
just build what?
competent. You just
I
build
just build black
cleaver.
cleaver. Yeah.
It just also just doesn't matter, right? If we're just competent at Aatrox. Because even if you're in a full AD comp, I'm telling you, there's 3 end of review blunders within laning phase. So it doesn't even matter by the time you're getting to like comp differences. Yeah, it makes a difference in terms of the game feel, but like that's not the issue. Is the team or the comp or that stuff? It's not the issue. Like
So just
your
focus
comps or
on
your
playing
teams is not the
Aatrox.
reason that we have this game sample size and this win rate.
Correct.
And that's
No,
why
it's because I'm
I would really just say like if you can't play 2 champions, do Aatrox Gangplank. Because we
yeah,
have we do have muscle memory on Gangplank. You do have
correct.
a better understanding of what champion identity is essentially. What does a champion want in terms of the like what makes what allows a champion the most success in terms of killing the nexus, right? How do we want to think about the champion, apply their strengths towards destroying the nexus?
And this is the definition of what champion identity is.
Yes, right? Like think about like basketball for instance. If you have someone
Okay.
like Clay Thompson, right? You
Hmm.
don't necessarily want him driving and dunking. You want him staying on the perimeter looking for 3-point shots. That's his
Yeah,
identity as a player, right? That's how he
moving it
finds
around,
success within the game.
drawing pressure, even maybe 2 people to come and defend him, and he can give somebody an open shot.
Exactly, right? On Aatrox, what we're looking to do is like once we start scaling up into the early mid game, we're a pretty decent laner. He doesn't really have that many terrible matchups. He has some, but not like that many. But ultimately,
No,
it's
but
like
if
we
you
want to be grouping. We want to be at objectives first. We want to be team fighting around objectives. We're not
so
really a
I
split pusher. That's not really what Aatrox wants to be doing. Yeah, we can win 1v1s, but we don't want to be like, we're not a Fiora. We're not a Jax. We're not a Gnar with the option to really be pushing down these towers. He gets caught easily in side lane. He doesn't really win. It's not super easy to be winning these really outnumbered fights. We
so like
can
once
do
I take my tower, should I just be looking to group more and not pressure the side lane so much?
I would say like you want to keep your wave fixed. You want to
Yep.
still be paying attention to your lane, but yeah, you don't want to be split pushing. You're not really a side lane threat in that way. You can be like totally if you were ahead enough, but that's when it comes down to that individual game sense, that understanding of what does this game need, what are my
I
win
just
conditions in this game, and
I just
often
feel
on
like I
someone like
constantly
Aatrox,
get
it's
fucking caught. And like you said, like compared to Gnar, like with Gnar, I could jump and flash and pretty much get the fuck away. If
yeah,
two or
and
three
Aatrox
people
has
come to
options
me,
too, right? He can ult, he can dash, but even then, it's like it's not amazing. And even
it's
more than
yeah,
that, like
no, it's
there's
not
nothing
great.
in his kit that's really enabling him to be pushing towers down.
No, it's slow compared to Jax, compared to Gwen, compared to
But
Fiora,
what
even
does he do
Camille.
well,
Fuck.
right? Like if you're hitting multiple people with a sweet spot, with Q2, with Q3, right? For
Oh
one
yeah, in
shotting
team
their 80
fights,
carry,
yes.
that's where we want to be. So how do we enable team fighting well? We're at objectives with our teams. We're setting up objectives first. We're moving to our team. We're skirmishing with our jungler, with our mid laner, who's ever strong.
Maybe that's also another thing that I am fucking up with. Because, okay, is that how I should be playing Gangplank, or can I actually split push better as Gangplank?
Gangplank has better split options, right? We're going to be building Trinity Force. We can be resetting our passive on towers. We can destroy waves in one shot. And we can still affect the map very easily and consistently with our ults. But ultimately, what does Gangplank want more than anything? He wants to be
Gold.
setting up barrels at objectives first. Because if you're in a bush in fog and two people walk blindly into a barrel combo, is that fight going to
I'm
be
good.
good?
For us, absolutely.
Right? It's like that's a no-brainer. Obviously, it's like
A free barrel,
yes.
yes.
So it's
A
like
free barrel's money in the bank.
ultimately it always depends, right? There's no rule of thumb that will find you success all the time, but these are
Correct.
team fight oriented champions who want to be at objectives first. Like it's the same thing with Aatrox. If somebody's walking into you blind and you get a free WQ1 sweet spot, is that going to be a good fight for you?
I'm gonna land the rest of my Qs
Exactly,
and probably
right?
kill them.
It's obviously going to be a good fight. So, and also it's like if you are creating so much space in these team fights and we're landing our sweet spots on multiple people, don't you think your team would enjoy that? Don't you think it would be easier for your Varus to get things done or your Syndra to get things done in team fights? If you're,
Well, yeah, if I'm
if
just
we're
causing chaos in a team fight, yes, and being the basically main
and constantly
target of the enemy
resetting
team.
because we're one shot. It's like that's where Aatrox wants to be. He wants to be flanking the enemy team and just ripping apart their backline, and then that makes it so easy for your backline to play the fight out. Or in this game, like if we're focused on getting to objectives first, waiting for picks off Syndra E or Pike Q, or waiting to engage into a team fight with our Nocturne, it's like then it's so much easier for us to play these games, win these games.
So it's okay for me to abandon my lane.
We're not
and even give.
abandoning it.
Well, like, okay, so let's say we're like, we're the third dragon spawning. We already have 2, so we're playing for soul point.
Right.
It's
So
okay.
that's a win
It's
condition,
okay.
right? If we're
So
identifying
it's,
soul point as a win condition, then why wouldn't we want to play towards our win condition?
so it's okay to abandon my lane and give the enemy top laner a tower
Well,
to play for that team
yeah,
fight.
yeah. 'Cause wouldn't that just make sense, right? Because if your enemy top stays top to play for a tower, even if it's the tier 2, but you're winning a team fight because you have man advantage, aren't we just gonna? Isn't that team fight just so much more likely to go well? And especially if we identify our easiest path to victory in this game, our win condition is getting this Dragon Soul, then yeah, of course that makes sense, right? But there's going to be games where, okay, their top laner's a Tryndamere or something that wants to be in side lane. Getting this dragon doesn't actually coincide with our win condition because our win condition might be something like waiting for your smolder to scale up or something different. Then yeah, it's about minimizing the damage that their team can get done towards their win condition. And this is stuff that's like more game learning oriented,
the
right?
The nuance of leagues.
Yeah, but it's not even the nuance. Like these are fundamentals. This isn't nuance. This is just like straight core. And but like my point here is that this is stuff that is so hard to see consistently, to understand the impact and value of consistently, if we're constantly first just fighting with our champion. And that's what this all comes back to. Why I'm harping on you constantly to get disciplined in our champion pool. Because we need to truly learn our champion to a highly competent level so we can consistently see the effects of these decisions. So you can truly understand the difference in value between playing side lanes with Aatrox and playing team fights with Aatrox. How playing team fights with Aatrox feels when you have a Varus Pike versus when we have a Samira Alistar.
Nautilus, yeah.
Right? They're gonna play out different. They're gonna be different. You're gonna have different value in those team fights and different value in that side lane. If we're playing against a Kayle versus a Mordekaiser, your value in side lane is going to be inherently different. But you can't understand that if we don't have genuine mastery on Aatrox. It's like that's why when you see that Chinese challenger top laner who's got thousands and thousands of games on Aatrox, he can so well switch between different room pages because he understands the value of that room page in that given game. And then also how to get value out of that room page and play towards winning the game with that room page on Aatrox. We don't even understand how to win a game on Aatrox right now. We probably have.
I know how to I think I can win lane.
Yeah, we probably have an okay understanding of how to win the 1v1 in Aatrox, right? But it's probably even that at best okay. Because if we go to this account, right? Are we winning lane on Aatrox consistently here?
I'm going even. I'm like dying one time and I'm just not feeding.
Right? Is that really what we want to be doing?
No,
And so
no.
my point is that it's like, yeah, we can win lane consistently against players of this caliber right now. We have no idea how to translate that into winning games. But if we climbed up like we think we should be on in Plat 4, it's like then we don't even know how to win lane consistently, let alone anything close to winning the game. And so that's why it's so fucking pivotal to be getting this champion mastery dialed in and dialed down, because that's going to give us the reference points. We're going to build reference points up over time to understand actually what Aatrox needs in these games to win them. You're going to, say you kept playing Aatrox constantly and we never had this conversation. Eventually, you would get to a point where you're like, hey, every time I have a lead and I focus on side laning, I get nothing done in reality. Nothing actually comes of it towards winning the game. Let me try something else. That's ultimately what you would do if we just kept playing these games on Aatrox, right? And I am hopefully able to help you identify that sort of thing quicker, but it won't matter if we're not actually getting the games in, because then we're never developing the feel or even developing the space to have that feel or intuition be developed. So ultimately, man, like I'm at this point.
You're making valid points. You're making valid points.
I hope so. Not just, yeah, I hope so. It's like
you're making sense. It's logical. I hear what you're saying, and you're not wrong. You're right. I know you're right.
Yeah,
I need to do that.
Yeah.
I need to fucking play Aatrox, and if he gets banned, then play GP.
Yeah, totally, exactly. And regardless, fuck team comp, fuck their team composition, fuck what sort of game it is, fuck if it's a smaller top, just slam these Aatrox games in. That's what's going to make you a better player and a better Aatrox.
Right. So then I just need to get first pick, lock in Aatrox, and just fucking run it.
Exactly. Because what you need is the experience consistently over 100 different reference points, a bunch of different games. Just get the feel for it all. And like, just if we can do that, if we can play these games with intensity, try to get like three games in a day, that it'll go so far. So to me, man, at this point, I'm just harping on you, and I'm a broken record. You understand. You see the picture. What I want you to do here is just spend the rest of your night thinking genuinely, like, I've laid out to you, like, this is a competitive endeavor. This is a large task you're undertaking to climb in League of Legends. You know, it's difficult and it's hard and it's painful. The easiest way to attack this is to have a learning process oriented around a disciplined champion pool. And
anything that's worth value is fucking difficult.
Exactly, man.
I've learned that. I know that.
If you just trust me on this and engage with it and go down this path, bro, you'll have so much more fun with the game. It'll be so rewarding. It's such a good time to really have that champion mastery and really just like take over a game, know exactly what I need to do in it, know exactly how I want to play it out, execute it on it perfectly without having to think about it at all the entire time. Like, that is a phenomenal feeling. It is so much fun, bro, and it is. And improving it, it's such a rewarding experience. But it can also really just be nothing if we just don't approach it correctly. So what I really want you to do the rest of this night, man, is just take a genuine, like I've laid out to you, like, this is a hard endeavor. You understand what it takes now. You understand what's required of you. Just really think about, like, is this really what I want? And if it is, cut the bullshit. I know what to do. Let's just get after it.
Fuck. Sam, right? I was hoping it was going to be easier than this. It's not.
Like you just said, man, like, the value out of this, because it's difficult, will be tremendous. You sound like we want this, you want to do it, we want to go for it, and think about how much better the content will be when we're a fucking sick-ass Aatrox.
Well, yes. I like the idea of being the old man that plays fucking Aatrox and, like, I'm going to punish you if you give me Aatrox.
Yeah, and plays Aatrox like a 16-year-old crackhead, you know, who just got his first Adderall prescription. like we can fucking do that for sure, man. Like you sound like you got that competitive drive on you. You need to unleash it, but you need to hone it. And we can do some crazy shit, I promise you. So one last time, I'm gonna reiterate it for you, man. Just take an honest look at what this journey will be like if we're really truly willing to go down it. And if we are, just like, I'm here to help you, brother. I'm here to do what I can for you.
But I have to do my part.
Yes.
And my part
I can only
is focusing on Aatrox and actually
respect the game, respect where we're at, honestly accept I'm a silver 3 player, and it's okay to start there, right? Dude, at one point I was bronze 5-0 LP. I was literally the worst player on the server. You know, and it's like now I'm a pretty fucking good Irelia player. It's just like it takes the first step is just accepting this. The first step is just accepting where we are, and then honestly figuring out what we want to do from there.
Bro,
again,
got it.
I'm here to help you, man. I'm here to try and show you where we can go from here, and I'll do whatever I can to help you. Reach out to me if we have more questions, if we have some more things you want to talk through. But I think you have a good grasp of the situation now.
No,
and dude, whatever you do, there's
focus on one champ, and then like you said, like we've been saying, first pick Aatrox. If he's fucking banned, then I'm gonna play Gangplank.
Yeah, and keep it simple. Keep it that simple. Like feel freedom in the fact that you've already made that decision. You know, we don't got to think about the rest of it.
Now, is it cool to play just GP some games because like I'm just like, bro, I
would say the ratio you should look for is 2-1. Because that will
really? Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, that's completely fine. Play for every one Gangplank game, play 2 Aatrox or vice versa. Because that's gonna keep your Gangplank skill like applicable to the games you're in. Keep it like a genuine champion in your pool.
Mm-hmm.
But our focus is on learning and developing Aatrox. So 2-1 is perfectly fine.
Okay. Should I builds then again don't really matter?
No, it doesn't fucking matter. Do what you think is correct. As long as you're doing it with intention, doesn't matter. I don't care about your builds. Yeah, they're important. I'm not saying they're not important, but that's like not your issue.
Against the Nasus, obviously built like Executioner's calling first.
Yeah, do it. Do what you think is right. As long as their intention, that's all that matters, right? Because as long as we're intentionally making decisions, then we can dissect the quality of the decisions. So yeah, that's fine. All right, brother. I believe in you. You got to do it. Whatever's right for you. That's only something you can figure out. I really genuinely want you to take yourself seriously enough to have that conversation with yourself. Think about it. And then let's go from there, man. Let me know what you decide one way or another. You got to do what's right for you. But if we really want to get competitive, if we really want to focus, not only do you know what you need to do, but I'm here to help you. So one way or another, reach out to me and I'm looking forward to hearing yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for talking with me like this. I really appreciate that as well. It's not always a fun conversation to have, but you're taking it seriously enough where it's like, I'm glad that,
sometimes
you care.
You gotta get told the things that fucking suck.
Yeah.
I get that. I've been through life.
Exactly. You get it, brother. You get it. All right, man. Have a good rest of your night.
Appreciate you. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Take it easy, big dog.